Chi Creation, The Tree of Life, part 13. So we've got this petrified wood again. And so in one sense we can see like the ocean waves. And so like the rolling of a wave, all the sunlight which catches into it. And at the same time we can also see like the patterns of the heavens. And so like the lightning which kind of goes through it and such. All the streams, those lines, those patterns. It's like the depth and the light, all that kind of stuff. So also the different colours, like the different lines, like if it's all just one, it's all that. I'm going to say lightning, but I think chi is more appropriate because I kind of think it's a mixture of energies and such. Another aspect is all the external, so like the wood patterns and stuff, like the bark and such. So how it looks like the waves rolling, and you got all the texture of like the crashing waves that kind of go with it and such. You see like there, so it looks like all the light catching on edges of water, but it also looks like that lightning. I think it's more like the water because it's the external, so it's showing that material aspect of the world. You got these here, it looks like waves crashing. It's like the details of it. I can also felt like rocks. You can see it here. Again, still like waves. You see like that cloudy bit and such. I'm gonna zoom in a bit more. See, it's difficult to tell. You are getting that cloud, like that mushroom tree kind of shape and stuff. But it's also similar to rocks, how it creates some holes and all those kind of things. And so it can become difficult to tell. It's like there, you can look at it that way. So that's like a wave crashing. So this is just connected to it. And you can see it all there. So then you've got all your cracks going through, so your lightning patterns, how that kind of like that other aspect of the spiritual realm, like the two energies of it. There's also elements of pareidolia, like scattered throughout it, so it's kind of really subtle, but sometimes it's quite strong in it. But it's either rolls of a wave, but also the black holes. So you got one there. So you've got that shape, got the peacock, like a leaf. So it's split around there, so you can see how it's coming into the world in that kind of sense. And the heart shape as well. It's supposed to be petrified wood. It's just that I could do it camera panning out so I could see it a bit better. I've seen them before, I've seen similar ones before like this. But you've got your rings, so I mean they'll probably all go around and stuff like, but like your windows, and I see there it looks like a window to another world. It's got a crack in it as well, so it's almost like lightning, but so here we've got you see the sun, it expands, contracts, and then expands, and that's contracting whilst that's expanding. And so like the energy ball, you've got your hand, both hands compress, pull apart, you know what I mean? So you pull that big one apart whilst that other one's getting smaller. And so you know, when you make the big one go smaller, the smaller one goes bigger, and that'll envelop your hands whilst you're making that one smaller. And so, you know what I mean? They're both doing the yin and the yang each and stuff. So yeah, it's showing you creation. It's showing you center at tree. You're seeing that sun. You're seeing the split where the horizon is. Like a realm within the sun. So you got your C shape for one. You got your sun doing its thing, I think. And you got all these lightning patterns as well, how it connects to this. Like the window is the same as your vision, so that's like your eye looking out, and that's what you can see, which is also like your pupil. So when you look out, you're looking back, which is like the sun, and because like we have a sun, so like the illusion of separation, that's what we're seeing ourselves when we see the sun. So it looks like sky, you know. And so like you got reflection on water, and water's smooth, so you can see perfectly reflecting in that sense. Then you've got all your lightning comes in. So like on the flowers, we could see lightning coming from edges. Like where it hit the sprite, and then the sprite's into the world. You got a layer of it there, how it starts to split and knocking away. And then you got also those black hole spots. Another one there. I suppose each one of them being a firmament as well, you know, like the many layers. It's that way. And so you got your Pac-Man, your peacock feather, your ocean wave coming in. Hang on. So yeah, you can see like that being like the wave in that kind of sense. So in edges of vision, you can see like the lightning. That's where it comes through in that sense. And then you've got all these patterns as well. So how they connect together like that tissue or neuron connections. So like, you know, like that consciousness of a realm in that sense. I just think there's more pareidolia in there. You see it like that. It looks like somebody's had the back, the waist, and then, you know, it kind of like that circle, almost like a picture. I mean, you can make pareidolia, can't you? In those kind of ways and stuff like. Looks like there's an eye there. See it lion. It looks like it's turning its face that way. That's its back end, so it's like stood that way and then facing that way. So again, not again. Like on this one. So like the expansion contraction, how that creates the realm. So like quite often how it separates. So in that sense, this one's got two. It's got one there and it's got one there. So in terms of like multiple realms in one chakra, one sun in that sense, you've got that one there as well. So how that relates. Like space, like the night sky, but stars in that sense. Oh, lightning patterns. I can't think of what I was going to say about that one. I quite like that one. I forgot it's a bit graphic-y, it's not very good. And they make it smaller, then it looks basically too bright and then I can't see it properly. But like all the blue's really cool. And then you got all that inside as well. It's like your perspective lines, but it's also like that part of creation, that spark, you know, like that initialization of the world in that kind of sense. So this one's showing you like the crystallization has gone like the coral. So that see-through coral with all the lightning patterns and the different colour, hues of colour between blues and reds and such. And so it's for it to repeat it there. I think that's quite significant. Again, the lightning. Looks like a polar bear. But it's formed out of the lightning. So it's like that sense of like consciousness. And it kind of forms. You see, it's more like personality, you know what I mean? Rather than like being an accurate polar bear as such, like a cartoon polar bear, you know? But I think that personality aspect's quite an important thing in terms of the creation. So yeah, you can see that C shape, see that part there. So like the flowers, how it's significant, so for it to be repeated and then shown. So like the branch, it's a long tunnel, which is like what the sun is, but we don't perceive it like that. We see the light at the end of a tunnel in that kind of sense. And that's quite good. It's like a spine. It's like nerves. So, in the sense, like we've got the ocean waves, how that rolls, and like in Waves of Love, how we found the anatomy for that. This is that matchup. This is part of it. And so it's showing you this electric coming together to create this spine pattern, which is like part of a tree, you know, in that kind of way. You could have a realm on the tip of each, and see if it's like a bubble. A golden light that comes with it. It's also like a womb in that kind of sense. Yeah, like a fetus. So that's when it's broken, damaged, but it's still creating that effect. So you kind of see that lightning that comes with it. quite good. Like the colour, like trying to visualize like going through those tunnels and like the effect and the colours, how those lines kind of like they give that perspective as well, so you can see like into the depth of the tunnel in that kind of way. So I think that was a bit better quality actually. You see like that blurriness of like going into it like that, like light speed in a sense. But this is without using a spaceship. You know what I mean? This is like your conscience will travel, your spirit, either your soul will travel through as fast as your brain can send a message to your foot. It's like the same anatomy, dynamics that's going on. Maybe something a little bit different. So it's see-through, but you can see like these points of stars, and then you can see the red ones, how they like join up, and it looks like clusters of stars and such. So it's like, you know, the deep space photos, and they show you those clusters of stars, and it's like, you know, it's like muscle tissue, that kind of thing. So like again, you're seeing the mapping of the giant tree, of the tree of life in space, in that kind of sense, of the heavens, the tree of life, which is the heavens. And so the imperceivable light with the clear crystal. So we're seeing that lightning pattern, but we're also seeing it like form cells. So like cellular structure, like your veins, you know, all that kind of stuff. But each one's like a pocket. Each one's another world in that kind of sense. Like there's another universe in each pocket. Each pocket's a pocket of consciousness. So like honeycomb. It's like the entire place is filled, you know what I mean? Like the dark matter being 99% and all that kind of stuff. So you can see it again. Or you can also see how it turns into electricity, into lightning patterns. And so you've got the hexagonals, and then, you know, how it does that, and that kind of stuff. It's like the same thing. So it's almost like the landscape, like it's space in these patterns, and then it breaks up into the lightning. So, you know, it's broken up here as it's coming down to the ground. And that one looks quite good. I like the colourfulness, how bright it is in that way. And then it goes red as well. So like you can see the transition. It's like it fades into it. It's like it's the same thing but a different colour. So at first you could look at that and think, oh, it looks like lava. No, it's obviously not, because it's a crystal, it's a stone, you know, petrified. And this is where the sap was going through. So in the same sense of how the sap would go through and how that forms a crystal, it's showing you this what's going on in the heavens in that sense. So the life force energy, which is going through it. And that's what we call chi. And so in the same sense, it's the same thing. It's just that that's showing you that on a macro scale with a micro example. So yeah, you can see the crystal forms. It splits. It's like you've got a realm. So again, like you've got like a geode in there, you know what I mean? It's split open, and then like, you know, it's got its own contained place of existence. It's got your C shape, it's split, all your crystals, all that kind of stuff, and your space for existence to exist. An example of your firmament, how thick it is, how many layers there are, you know. There's somebody on Earth Awakening as well asking me if you'd be able to drill through it, and it's kind of like, you know, the amount of years. I mean, you'd have to have like yeah, maybe you'll be able to do it, but it just took a long time. So it opens, it creates that world. That's the whole electricity. So it's more like a black hole in that kind of sense. So again, like that cellular structure, and you got all the different colours, orange, reds, greens, blues, yellows, and you know, there's an abundance of them. So it's like, you know, like when you look at the night sky and you see all the different stars, you're seeing all the different colours that they twinkle in that sense. You know, they look like bubbles as well, like in water. They're also pebbles that know like at the bottom of water, but so again, like the bubbles of consciousness, like the photo with all the bubbles together, you're seeing that same thing. And so each one's a bubble of consciousness. So as the crystal, it creates that separation. And so you've got your flat plane, and you've got your black hole. So each one's a bubble of consciousness. And they're all together in that kind of way. So that's showing you what that chi is, that life force. When it's together, you know what I mean, that's what it kind of looks like. So that's more like a close-up view of all those lightning patterns. You know what I mean? They're like going through, but you can't see all the consciousness which is in it because it's a stream of beings, basically. So, like how we look into the tree, we see the sun, we see all the stars, all the colours, we're all making up the one sun. And so in that sense that like we are the sun, we're all a part of the sun. It's just that when you focus onto one of them, everything else seems far away. But I kind of think that's an illusion. And this is like the time and space thing. So it's like when you look at an object, things in different places and all these kind of things, and how long light takes to, you know, this can correct it because it's like a different perspective. It's like the illusion of separation. So how you've got the sun in that way. Each one a bubble of consciousness that makes a whole. So like in a flower, when you've got each stem of pollen, oops. So like the sun, all the bubbles of consciousness coming out of it in that sense. Or not coming out of it, being part of it. So we've got the green sun, and we've got all the different bubbles that come from it. So like you see, they're all together, all of them. But when we focus onto one of them, it's seemingly on its own. But that's because we're focused in on it. You know, if we're focusing on the other ones, because they're seemingly together. But that's more like perspective further away. Which is why these are bigger, because the perspective. If it's a drawing, you know, like a piece of paper. If you can't change the distance away, like the you can draw something close up like that, you know. You got the realm, you got the dome, all that, the other dome. But if I were to zoom out, then this is what it's looking like. And see, it's all together. You see, it's evenly spaced out. And so, like, you look, we're all together. We're all together, but we're closer in now. You know what I mean? They're all together, but we're far away. So it looks like the sun. And then once we're coming close, we can see all the realms, all connected to Source. A spirit, either. So how the chi energy flows round. It's like an ocean of chi. And again, our will look stationary. So we can see again how it's reminiscent of that Krishna consciousness, how they kind of illustrate, you know, like the realms in that kind of sense. But I think that's it for this episode. I've got more to come. I'll take every day as it comes. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in a bit. Nice one, cheers.